Right, so let's look at another match here where you recognize weaknesses and exploit weaknesses and recognize strengths. So let's go with one I fought fairly recently. Yeah. Empire versus Dwarf, always a hard matchup. So what do you have to recognize? Well, Dwarves. I know my opponent's playing Dwarves, so he's a slow moving army, and almost each and every one of his units is going to be armored. And he also has a weakness towards anti-large because he really only has like 2 units that are anti-large. That's Slayers and Cannons and maybe Gyrocopters. But they aren't very mobile, so I'm going to exploit that. First off, since each and every one of their units is going to be armored, I've brought Great Swords because they are armored, they are armor piercing, and of course they are anti-infantry. Very good, especially against the Dwarves, who are primarily an infantry army. I've got Halberdiers, pretty much just a fill-in unit. They have armor piercing, which I'll use, which will be helpful. And I'm mainly just going to use these guys to hold them down. I got free company because I just had extra money and I kind of want to use them as harass. And 3 units of handgunners. Always bring handgunners when you're playing against Dwarves. To do so, otherwise it's just kind of suicide. It's ranged armor piercing. You really need it. And then of course I have a Sterling's Revenge. Again, armor piercing stock, very good unit overall. I try and bring them every time. They're just too good. And I have a Zittler's Reichsguard unit just for the charge bonus. And these guys are also surprisingly, Vanguard deploy, so you can deploy them wherever you want on the map. And I brought, again, a Witch Hunter, direct damage DOT. Dwarves do have a magic resist, but again, just kind of point clicking on an enemy and just doing direct damage is just fantastic. I also brought a Grey Wizard with only the Pit of Shades and Pendulum. Again, Dwarves are very stationary, so using those 2 spells is very good. And I kind of have my army spread out like this, so if he brings any artillery, it's only going to target one of my units. Frank Company Militia, 4 deployed out here, 4 deployed. Vanguard deployed, and Storm's Revenge deployed out here. Again, stock, so he can't really see him. And these, Zittler's Reichsguard deployed out here in this crater, so he can't see him. And I'm just moving my army in. And he's got the Gobbler coming in and firing on Great Swords. Pretty good target. Right, so his army, he's got a Goblobber, very good Dwarven artillery unit, protected by a bunch of Slayers. Pretty standard. And in his army, I did not see that he had 4 units of range of great weapons. So I had assumed he was just bringing a bunch of Miners of Blasting Charges, Dwarf Warriors, Normgirlings, Ironbreakers, Blasting Charges, Dwarf Warriors, and another Longbeards. So, Free Company Militia is going to tear apart the Dragonback Slayers because Dragonback Slayers, of course, have no armor, and these guys are ranged. Very good. Surprisingly, though, the Slayers can catch up to the Free Company Militia, simply because Dwarves have 40% or 40 move speed compared to the 35 of the Free Company Militia, which is kind of weird, I guess. So, Storm's Revenge coming on the right side. Try and get some pot shots on the side here, and my handgunners out here. I'm just gonna start skirmishing. Like, immediately as soon as I noticed that he did not bring any Quarrelers or anything like that, like, I just knew I could go to town. I think this was his major mistake. He didn't bring any skirmishing units. Dwarves have some of the best skirmishing units in the game. I mean, they have, they're shielded and they're armored, which is crazy. So they can pretty much out-skirmish any other skirmishing unit. And for him not to bring that was a huge mistake on his part, because from here I can just shoot him like crazy and he can't retaliate. Here, Free Company Militia kind of gets caught off guard by the range of the great weapons. As soon as I noticed it, I was like, oh, that's kind of a problem. So I decided to pull back. I'm just going to use this unit just to harass this guy for the entire time. Just to harass his flank. Like, the more units I can take out of his front line will be better for me. Here I'm just taking pot shots at his Dragon Slayers. And just taking pot shots at his entire army in general. Again, he has no Quarreler, so I can just shoot him at will. Storm's Revenge here moving into the side here. Zittler's Reichsguard moving in. Again, Dwarves have a weakness to anti-large. I guess he's trying to compensate that with these Rangers, with the great weapons. Again, they're not anti-large, but they do have armor piercing, which is very well. These guys can take down Griffins and all sorts of units very fast. Wow, just this crossfire going off here. Yeah, his Goblobber is starting to target one of my handgunners. Good move on his part. He can take out the handgunners, he can save a lot of Dwarven lives. And here, we have this little trade going on, and as soon as I see this, I know for a fact I'm going to win, because 1, I have 2 units firing on his 1 unit, and 2, the Zittler's Reichsguard is going to do very well against the Rangers, simply because they have faster flying rate and can do more damage. And you can see him trying to bring his Dragonback Slayers, trying to cut off the Storm's Revenge Company. But yeah, they're just, wow, just one unit erased. And here, I'm still trying to harass him for the Siders, so I'm doing a little bit of micro-heavy here. Like, the Free Company Militia could do very well against the Rangers, because the Rangers don't have that much armor, it's only 40 armor. And here I just pull away my Storm's Revenge Company away from the Dragonback Slayers. Honestly, he should have probably kept charging with these guys and tried to engage a Storm's Revenge Company, but I'm assuming he knew where my Settlers Reichsguard were, so he didn't want to overexpose the Dwarves too much. Now you can see I'm moving in my Grey Wizard here to the side here. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to use the Pendulum and just wreck his frontline infantry. Again, Dwarves are very stationary. They typically don't want to move. So recognizing that, I'm just going to exploit that. I'm really surprised how often these Dwarven units come back, especially after taking just horrendous losses. I've always had to like finish them off. Alright, is it they're still there? Good. I'm just waiting for this Grey Wizard to drop off. Alright, this is where he finally starts deploying his miners, just to try and throw my hangars up. There's the first Pendulum. There we go. Ouch. Yeah, that's the problem with the drones. Honestly, after that first Pendulum, he should have just tried to engage my army. But for whatever reason, he stays in this kind of block formation here. Maybe he was super afraid of my 4 Great Guards, or like him staying like this and just getting picked off by the handgunners is just a bad move on his part. Like, being stationary in this sort of situation where I have the skirmishing power and I have the field control is pretty much a death sentence, as much as I hate reusing that word. Goblobber's still going off the handgunners. Goblobber's pretty good because not only does it damage the infantry, it also, what do you call it, demoralizes them and breaks them. It's probably one of the better anti-artillery units in the game because not only can it kill enemy artillery units, but it could also demoralize them and get the unit off the infantry, get the unit off the artillery piece. And you have to do the cumbersome process of trying to get them to rally back and then re-equip them to the artillery unit and doing that whole process again. Alright, his miners are taking a huge beating. Here's the second Pendulum, right on top of the Norman release. Wow. Massive damage. Look how pretty that is. That's nice. Again, I'm like, he doesn't move his units, and I'm just taking advantage of that. For whatever reason, the Grey Wizard only has 4 kills, even though I've taken off more about 20% of the health here and almost 50% of the health for the Dwarf Warriors. And handgunners are just going to town, just shooting anything and everything they can. If I had another cavalry unit, this would be, what do you call it? A very good play to just exploit these miners. I believe the reason why he brought this army was because he assumed that he assumed that I was going to go bring a more. God, that's the third one. So bad. Anyway, I believe he was assuming that I was going to bring a more meta Empire army with just a bunch of Jade Wizards on Griffins, summoning Manticores, and just dive bombing the heck out of the Dwarves. But I really hate using the Jade Wizards. Like, ever since they added the Jade Wizards and the Healing Wizards, whatever the hell they're called, like, Empire just kind of became like Vampire Counts 2.0, which is using a bunch of meme strategies, mass regeneration, charge things, and all that sort of jazz. Never liked that. Sterling's Revenge gets blown the fuck out. I probably should have paid better attention to that. Off they go. Rangers starting to come in. Arcane Conjure going off because I need more magic. I've used 3 Pendulums here now. I've taken off pretty much his entire front line. And we still have 4 minutes to go in this match. Amazing. He finally manages to break one of my Free Company Militia. Again, I wasn't paying attention. Goblobber's still going off, and I still have a full health Zentler's Reichsguard unit here. Right. I'm not even sure if he's going to push forward with his army yet. He's just taking so much damage. Maybe he thought he can wither the amount of damage, but compared to all the damage I've put out and the amount of ammo I still have left on my handgunners is pretty amazing. Like, I'm just going to town, just ripping them apart, and they've only got like a 20% chance to block missiles, right? Yeah, bronze shields, okay. I'm just waiting for my Grey Wizard to pop up another pendulum, because I think I managed to pop out 4 pendulums. Yep, there it is again. Right, so there goes that entire Dwarven unit, just with magic. Wow. And this is where he finally charges. Maybe he didn't think, yeah, I don't think, yeah, okay, now they see his aren't, like, dwarves aren't meant to charge, they are meant to actually engage the enemy. Like, using the Gnome Demon Iron Breakers to actually charge is not the best idea in the world, because they just have such low charge bonus. Charge 8, charge, what, 12? Yeah. Dwarves are meant to take charges, they aren't meant to dish them out. Right, so this is him trying to finally push forward, and if he does push forward, he's got to be really careful on how to use his Gnome Iron Breakers, because they do have the satchel charges. And I got double Wrath of Ruin on the Greatswords here, doing an immense amount of damage. Again, point and click damage, very good. And this is, he manages to brace his units very well. And I just charging them, but again, Greatswords will be able to take out the Gnome Iron Breakers. And you see me charging in here that quick, kind of disallows him from using his satchel charges. Charging in on the range of the great weapons here. I'm curious how this fight's going to play out, because they do have armor piercing and these are armored. Interesting how that plays out. Freak out Militia comes back again, getting paid good money to fight here. And the rest of my army just starts moving in. Ziller's Reiksguard moving in from behind, trying to get to the back lines of his unit. His Godlogger's already used all its ammunition, so not much of a major target. I believe an Accuse went off on his Rune Lord. Not a lot of damage. And I know they do have magic resist, but again, direct damage DOT, very good. I got great weapons throwing in on the great swords here. Or sorry, ranged weapons throwing in on the great swords here. Very good on his part. That's a second Wrath of Ruin? Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing how much damage the dwarves can do with just Wrath of Ruins. I got Halberdiers moving in, again, I just kind of want to hold in place. Oh, good charge by the dwarves, or by the Zimmer's Reiksguard unit here. Take out the dwarf warriors. The Slayers are starting to move in, immediately I see that and try to move back my units before they get ripped apart. Halberdiers can hold them in place. Again, and again, free companies just popping off wherever they can, going after rangers with little armor. I really should have set these guys on skirmish. His Runesmith, I think, was trying to go for my Lord, but then decided a better target would be my handgunners. Right, and I've kind of lost a lot of my infantry here. Like, this Greatswords have gone, this unit's practically destroyed, this unit's practically destroyed, so I've only got one healthy Greatsword unit, and that's kind of over here. All I have are gunners in free company, and they're just popping off. There's the Runesmith going after the handgunners. Yeah, and the Halberdiers got wrecked by the Rangers. Pretty interesting. And then here it is. Here's the cleanup. Ziller's Reiksguard going after the Rangers here. That's what I really needed. Power Bar going more and more my favorite here. Witch Hunters still going after the Rune Lord. Accuse, armor, like Witch Hunters are so good. They're so good. Like, they're armor piercing. They got the missiles. Missile damage is huge, 362. And they look badass. Look at that. Yeah. So good. So good. It's just like point and click damage. Why wouldn't you use it? General of the Empire for just finally throwing them in here just to try and finish up and clean up. Dwarven army's breaking up. Shattering, and that's pretty much game. Wow, look at that Reiksguard unit. Right, so let's look at the replay. Let's see what we got going on here. Right, so Grey Wizard did an amazing job. Just wrecked his entire frontline infantry, and that's like, as soon as the first or even the second pendulum gone off, you really should have just engaged. But I recognize the fact that engaging isn't the strength of the dwarves. Witch Hunter did an amazing job. Just doing DOT damage on the dwarf Rune Lord, especially since dwarves don't have health potion. The dwarven leaders don't have health potions, I believe. I don't think the Rune Lord has access to potions. I can't remember. Great swords, again, doing an amazing job against dwarves. Should always bring great swords against dwarves. Kind of expected. And of course the handgunners. Look at these guys. 116 kills. Wow, that's a lot, guys. 18 damage, 29 or 18 kills, 29 kills. 108 kills on the Sterling's Revenge. Like, holy crap. And these are against dwarves, which usually have shields. Like, it's really good. This other free company militia didn't do so well. Again, really shouldn't bring him against dwarves. I just mainly brought him as harassing units. And of course, the Zintler's Reichsguard. 60, almost 70 kills for the Zintler's Reichsguard with almost no damage dealt to them. Let's see what the dwarves had. Runelord was okay. Runesmith, again, pretty good. That double Ratharun, because they do stack, do it a tremendous amount of damage. Normgrimling Ironbreakers, if they didn't get wrecked by the pendulums, they would have been great. They're a very tough unit to crack because they have like 120 armor, and the Satch charges just kind of negate every charge. But just having them wrecked by magic just kind of shut them down. Dwarf Warriors only 2 kills, Longbeards only 2 kills, Miners 3 kills. The Rangers of the Great Weapons did decently. They did decently. These guys did 95, and I think this was the group that just started launching axes to my blob of great swords. So, good on their part. I'm actually a fan of the Rangers myself. Goblobber did 125 kills. Again, great unit. Dwarves should probably always bring this unit. They obviously does a lot better than the cannon. Like a cannon, an unupgraded cannon is just so inaccurate, but compared to the Goblobber, which is pretty much the same price, can just do a ton more damage. And they also have the morale damage and the Dragonback Slayers, which were okay. I'm pretty sure they took out my Halberdier unit. Halberdier. But yeah, that's that. This is the game. Just recognize strength and exploit weaknesses. That's how you win.